I'm loving my God. I serve a big God. I live for my King like King. I'm loving my God. I'm serve a big God. I put on for my King like oh my God, guess what he did? My God is so big, my King is legit, he forever lives. King of all kings, and that's a big deal. My God is real, real. I carry your spirit, I love how it feels. I used to be broken, but now I am healed. His word is amazing, it keeps me fulfilled. The love that he gives is completely surreal. He is my father, and I am his kid. He is my teacher, he taught me to live. He is my master, I yield to his will. I once was a dip, but he fitted the bill. My savior, my king, ruler of everything. His reign, supreme, forever the song I sing. He is Alpha, he is Omega, he is provider, he is healer, he is counselor, he is redeemer. Everything that I need him to be is who he is to me. Yeah. He is Alpha, he is Omega, he is provider, he is healer, he is counselor, he is redeemer. Everything that I need him to be is who he is to me. Yeah. I'm loving my God. I serve a big God. I put on for my King like I'm loving my God. I serve a big God. I put on for my King like I'm loving my God. I serve a big God. I put for my King like I'm loving my God. I'm serve a big God. I put on for my King like let me speak of his mercy. Let me speak of his grace. Let me tell you how he put the girl on and taught me how to win the race. So I give him all the glory and I give him all the praise. Forever and always, I'll always be bold about
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Palinc Podcast. And I'm busy schedule. I know it's late at night to come in and share with me and be with me to talk about my next topic, which is communication. And I know communication is important to all of us, to our parents, our children, family, communities, people that we come in contact with. And I had the pleasure this week in talking to fourth and fifth graders. I have a girlfriend who's a teacher, and she had allowed me to come in the class virtually and have a conversation with them on communication. And I asked them a little bit about what does communication look like? What does it feel like? How are you communicating with your parents, with your teachers, with your peers, with other people that you come in contact with? And before I share that session with you, I just want to talk just a little bit about communication. And communication is a transferring of information from people to people, groups to groups, places to places, even on social media, coming in contact with different people, different organizations, going to the store. No matter where you go, effective communication is important. And what I mean about that, communication should start with our children at home, with our parents. Our parents should be teaching their children how important it is to communicate with them and how they should communicate with their children. And let's talk about, just briefly before I put you into the session and let you listen to their response on communication, is that think about when mothers are carrying babies and stuff. We communicate with babies that are in our womb by talking to the baby, by rubbing on our stomach, by playing music. That's communication. By, singing, because babies here, this is spiritual if you really think about it. When you're touching, and babies can feel when you're upset, when you're feeling good. Even babies can communicate when you're eating something wrong. So communication is important. And when the baby is born and the baby's in your arms in your home, that's when communication even gets even stronger. You pick the baby up, you stroke the baby, you burp the baby, you talking to the baby, and the baby's smiling, or the baby's communication to you when they're hungry, they cry. So, and they're hungry or they may not be feeling good. So, communication is always important on how we respond to our children. How do we respond to other people? How do we respond to people in the community, on our jobs, the teachers, the professors? So communication is important. And so, as I always say, that communication should be taught at home. We should be able to have open communication with our children, even at a young age. And we have to teach our children boundaries, y'all. We have to teach our children boundaries. When we allow the space, the communications to open up, these are the boundaries, because we want to hear from you. We want to know what's going on. We want to know when things are not right. We want to know when things are good, when you're happy, because communication could be verbal, it could be nonverbal, and it could be writing. And to have effective communication with your children, you got to open it up. You got to let them know that I love you, I respect you, and I trust you, that you will be able to come to me and Daddy and speak or talk about things that are good, things that are bad, things that you may not understand, things that may have happened that you need clarification and all. So communication is so important, and we need, as parents, as teachers, as people in authority, that we need to be good listeners, not just hearers, but good listeners to our children, to other children, to young adults. So everything that your children is taught at home, wherever they go and however they respond, is a reflection of the parents, is a reflection. So we want to start at home first to teach our children about communication. So when I looked at it and I researched and looked at some things, it said when parents communicate effectively with their children, they are showing respect. I'm just saying, honey, look, I'm going to open up the communication line. Let's have, after dinner, let's sit down and talk about, certain things that you need to tell them about, because you don't want nobody else to be having a conversation with them on personal things or things that that you as parents need to teach your children. You want everything to come from home, and believing and praying that they're going to be telling you the truth. They're going to be telling you the right way, and then teaching you this is not the way you should do things. And so open communication, effective listening is important when we communicate with our children, because our children will be able to go to school and have a better respect for their teachers, for the principals, for those who are in authority, for those who, if they go to a restaurant, they can be polite, have healthy manners and say thank you, no thank you, or, those should be taught at home. So I'm going to let you chime in on the fourth and fifth graders of one of the schools in the community that I was able to have a session with them. Here it is.
Okay, you all. Again, my name is Wanda Wallace, and what I'm doing on podcasts, I'm talking about different topics that impact parents and their children. I talked about love, what does love look like to parents and children? What does it mean to love? And what is your definition of love? And then I talked about trust. Trust is another one what is trust to you? Do you trust yourself? Do you trust your parents? Does your parents trust you? So today I'm going to talk about communication, just getting some information that I could share on my podcast next Friday at 8 p.m. So my question is to you all, what does communication mean to you when it comes to communicating with your parents or your parents communicating with you? Does anybody want to answer that? What does communication look like to you and what it means to you?
Okay. When you give your answer, I'm going to ask if you come here so she can hear you. So I'm going to start with Madeline, and then I'm going to Brandon and Grayson, and then Hannah. Okay.
Okay.
I think communication means with your family is that you actually hear them instead of interrupting them and making your own accusations, and just hearing them out before you judge them for something they think you did, but you actually didn't. So you need to hear them out.
Okay. So communication for you is being not only talked to, but being heard, right? Yeah. So if you've done something that you want to hear them out from their standpoint, but you also want to be heard, right? Right. And why is that important to you?
Because I think you should get everybody a chance to speak instead of making accusations and giving a harmful punishment when you didn't even hear them from their side of the view.
Okay, great. I love that. Let's give it up for Madeline.
Yes, I do too. Yes. Thank you, Madeline.
Okay. Hear everybody's point of view, right? So that's so important. Brandon? Yes.
Well, I think communication is like connecting with something by talking to them and listening to them and like listening to them go on and just connecting with them by talking.
I love that. Say that. Communication is connecting, right? And so we connect with one another by communication, right? And that's good. And I like what you said, instead of them going what? On and on.
Yeah, going on and on listening.
So it's a dialogue, right? They say something, but you get to say something, right? Yep. So we can all connect, going back to Madeline, what she said. So nobody makes accusations, right? Mm-hmm. Or nobody gets accused, that we all are able to share our what? Outside of the story, and share what?
Our differences.
Our opinions, our differences, and our heart. Say that. Somebody said it. Heart, right? All right. Good. Thank you so much, Brandon. I love that connection. Grayson, let's give it up for Brandon.
Thank Brandon.
Just hold on to him. All right, Grayson, come here. Okay. Brandon, can you pass them out for me? Mm-hmm.
What communication means to me is feeling emotions and telling them out loud.
Okay. Say that again, Grayson. Feeling of what?
Emotions and saying them out loud.
Woo! Yeah,
that's deep. Yes.
Yes, that's a good place to clap. Feeling emotions.
Yes.
Saying them out loud. What are you feeling right now, Grayson? What are you feeling right at this moment?
Tired.
Tired?
Yeah.
Give me the tired. All right, feeling tired. We're going to work to that, because you've been working hard, Miss Mackman, working y'all, right? All right, but you're about to have some energy because you're about to go to PE, right? All right, feeling emotions and saying them out loud. I love that. And we do that. Sometimes we have assignments when Miss Mack said, don't write, but get everything out your head and get it on what? A sheet of paper, right? So you get out your emotions. What are you thinking? What are you feeling? Or when Chloe says,
one of my teachers told me, if you have too much in your mind, just write it down on a paper and like that.
Whoa. Okay. Miss Wallace, did you hear that?
No, say that again.
Come right here, Chloe. Remember, if you guys got to respond because we have masks and all of that, please come right here. Thank you.
One of my teachers in my old school told me, if you have too much in your mind, you can just write it on a piece of paper and rip it so you can think about it later.
Great. So
Great, that's good.
write it down and rip it, right? If you have feelings of anger, and we've done that, right? That when you have those feelings, because anger is what? Sometimes the emotion, and sometimes it's a part of communication, right? And we all communicate different. Sometimes we have our bad days, sometimes we have our good days. How does Chloe communicate, guys?
With her intro.
With her what? Her movement. Oh, very good movement. And you can't see her, Wanda, but she's always saying, Chloe, come in right here and tell them how you introduce yourself. And why is this important to you? Tell them how you introduce yourself.
It's I, Chloe.
Intro.
Intro. And she's doing a dance right now. You can't see it, but you must see it. So she'll come in, and then I'll come in with her. It is I, Miss Mac, who is taking over for Chloe. Yeah. All right. So that's how we communicate, right? And so Myra, later we're gonna do a video and send it to you.
Oh, that's good too. That's good.
All right. So look, all right, guys, let's give a minute. All right, guys, let's give a moment. Thank you, Chloe. So Chloe, come back, because when you come in and you communicate with that, how does that make you feel? I'm sorry. Thank you. It makes you feel happy when you can dance and you can move around, right? As a teacher, how did that make you feel that I allow you to do that?
Very excited.
Okay, because it gives you what? Why does it make you feel very excited?
Because then I get to do whatever dance I want.
So it's your way of communication, expressing yourself, right?
Yes.
Right. When you're at home with your parents, do you express yourself the same way?
Yep.
And how does that make you feel?
Happy. I run across the hallways and then
She does.
You run across the hallways and what?
And then I eat a bunch of candy and mini donuts and then.
All right. So last year, when you went at your old school, were you able to do your introduction and all of that as well? No. So how did that make you feel when you couldn't do that?
A little bit angry and sad.
A little angry and sad, right? Okay. So my nephew.
But I had a bestie.
But you had a bestie that helped you out. Okay, thank you, Chloe. So my little nephew that has autism, he's has autism. So he loves bright colors, right? And we just found out that when he goes to school, that they have to wear blue uniforms, right? Dark blue and light. And it didn't make him feel good, right? So my sister didn't understand until recent, because bright colors is the way he did what, guys? What do you think? Say it. Express himself and what? Communicate. And the way he expressed himself with colors. Somebody just said it. I think you, Grayson, said it. That communication is the way that you what? Feeling out loud. Expressing feelings out loud. Right? And so when my nephew get home, because he have to sit down all day and can't do it, that's why Miss Mac don't make you guys sit down. And when you need to get up, that I don't mind you getting up, because my little nephew, when he goes home, he turns on his music very loud. And he turned on his tablet very loud. And he's dancing and all of that, because he's now able to communicate and express himself and get his what out? Energy and what? Energy out. What else? What else? Feelings out, and what? He's communicating, right? And his emotions. Thank you. So all of those things are ways we communicate. Hannah, it is you. It is your time. Come up and tell, what does communication mean to you?
Hannah walking upstairs.
I'm sorry. All right, well, Hannah, walk up. Miss Wallace is waiting for you. Walk on up. Yes. Look at the communication and applause that she's getting when she comes up. I love it. All right, go ahead. She can hear you, but I'm recording. So can you say what is communication?
Hello.
Communication is expressing yourself, showing your feelings.
How do you express yourself?
Sitting in my room and drawing.
Sitting in your room drawing. How do you express yourself to your parents when something you don't like something or something bothers you?
By text.
By text? Why do you do text instead of talking?
Because it feels more awkward when I go up to them.
Oh, okay. So it's less awkward. That's good, right? And so you feel like you can express yourself better by text. How do you express yourself with me, your teacher, when something you may not like or something that you do like?
Say something about it.
Say something. You say something. Very good. All right. So I just wanted to. All right. Thank you. Let's give a round of applause for Hannah.
Oh, wait. I'm gonna do it, Chloe.
All right. Okay. All right. All right. I'm sorry. All right. I heard a whole lot. I'm sorry. Well, I did get to hear from one of my fifth graders, a lot of my fourth graders. Any one of my fifth graders want to express yourselves? Right? Yes. What are you guys afraid of?
Okay, let's go.
No. Let me see. All right, let's see what Miss Wallace, everybody else that wanted to, because this is not, you didn't have to. So I don't want anybody to have to do it that doesn't feel comfortable. So the people who spoke are the people who feel comfortable. Miss Wallace, do you have any other questions or any feedback you want to give?
One of the things is that, everybody that came up to talk about what communication means and all is so good, because communication is verbal, nonverbal is written.
Yes.
And, I always say is that communication starts at home with the parents. When parents are able to communicate effectively with their children, you all will be able to communicate better with your peers, with your teachers, and anybody who's in authority over you. Do you agree with that, you all?
Yeah.
Let's see. Do you believe that communication and the way that you learn to communicate it starts at home? Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So that's great. You say in the hospital. Okay, maybe you're going way back to, but you know what?
I know.
But when you're first born and born in the world, that's the best form of communication, right? Those years are important when your mother, and many of you might not remember it, but if you talk to your parents about it, many of them held you, they, spoke over you, they read books to you, they prayed for you, they started communicating. Many of you, even when you were in the womb, some of your parents started communicating while you're in there, saying, hello, how are you? I can't wait to meet you. You're going to be such a great joy. Me and your dad love you. All of that, right? Yeah, Hannah. All right, Hannah, you said your stepmother does that now? And because she's pregnant, right? And she's expecting a baby. So now she's what? Talking to her stomach?
Yeah.
Well, Hannah thinks she's talking to her stomach, but she's actually talking to.
Keeps looking down every time she does it.
Right, but she's talking. It's not just a stomach. It's a what?
The baby.
It's a baby in there, right?
Cute little baby.
A baby can hear it. So communication starts even in the womb.
Womb. Yes.
All right. Yeah. I said communication. That's in your stomach. All right. All right, guys. All right, Miss Wallace, go ahead.
Okay. And so also, you can also have communication that's positive, negative. You can have effective communication and ineffective communication. So when you all talk about your emotions and all, your emotions could be good, your emotions could be bad, that when you give off communication in a nonverbal way, Miss Mack can see that there's something clearly wrong or something that needs to be attended to. So, communication is good when it's an open, dialogue with you and your parents or with your teachers, so that you can, whatever is going on, you be able to communicate effectively so that whatever's going on could be solved, in a resolution and all. Do y'all agree with that?
All right, let me see. Give me an example of something that happened this week that was nonverbal communication. What's an example? Grayson?
The truckers event.
What, the truckers event? Yep, when they were coming, they didn't say anything, but they were driving, right? That was their protest. But what happened in this class to someone that we knew without even saying, and we knew that something was wrong? Madeline?
So when Chloe came in and she didn't even do her outro. She didn't even say hello, it's me, Chloe. She didn't say anything about her backpack.
Right. So, Miss Wallace, could you hear that?
Yeah,
All right. So
that's
this
correct.
week, when Chloe came in, and Chloe was feeling a little down in her body and wasn't feeling well, right? Everybody knew
Mhm.
that Chloe was looking down on the ground. She didn't have her smile, and she walks in every morning like her little intro that she does. It is I, Chloe, intro, and she does a dance, or she's always moving. She was not moving like she normally does. She did not do her intro. She was not smiling, and her eyes had sadness on it. So without us knowing that she was even feeling sinus and congested, everybody knew by her nonverbal communication. She didn't have to say. And there, who else can tell me another time when one of your friends might have been feeling not themselves and you knew it and they didn't have to tell you, but you could tell? Is Madeline the only one that knows? All right, Grayson.
So one time my brother was feeling sad. He didn't say anything, but I knew he was because he didn't bully me. So
Okay, so your big brother, he wasn't picking on you like he normally do, so you knew that he was feeling down. Who else in here? Brandon, you were about to say.
So today, Bryce was like,
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Active, and he was just looking down a lot, and I just knew he was tired and did not want to be here.
Okay, so that was good, right? Because we seen it.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't what he wanted or something, but Bryce started looking down. He looked real tired, and he just looked like the life came out of him, right? Until he was out. Madeline, another situation.
One time I was at home, my sister came up and she didn't even look like herself. She looked very gloomy. She had like water in her eyes about to come down, and she said she was fine. But when she went in her room, I just know she was like crying.
Okay, so you seen it on her face that there was tears and sadness, and a couple of times Nia wasn't feeling well either, right? And we knew because Nia was feeling sad, right? It was thinking about some things that made her feel sad, and we knew because just like Madeline's sister, Nia had the same look on, right? Wasn't herself. So we're talking about the nonverbal, right? And then some of you could tell that when Miss Mack is not feeling well, right? Because she probably wears it. Look at Nia's like, yeah. How do you know when Miss Mack is not feeling well?
Because you don't yell like
Yes, you don't yell.
All right.
Don't do that.
All right. So if I'm not feeling well, Miss Mack is usually on 10, right? And I think Miss Wanda can adjust to that. And Miss Marcus was really tired the last couple of weeks, right? And had a lot going on.
Yeah.
Right? And so they could tell, and even my other coworkers could tell, because I'm usually at a 10. And I was way down with my voice at like a 5. Right, a 2, Madeline said, right.
That was 0%.
Yeah. 0%. Look, no energy, no excitement, no nothing. All right, just that. All right. Now, but I just heard Hannah said when Miss Mac wears black, right? That when I wear black, because
unless you're wearing it in the correct way, I do not want to see anyone be wearing it.
All right, so that's how Hannah knows if Miss Mac is wearing black because she likes to wear a little color, or if she's wearing black with another color, All right, or it's my theme.
1 week you had a theme of black and white.
Yeah, 1 week. So sometimes it's my theme. I'm not feeling down. And I do try to put on a little red jewelry or something. But anyway, Miss Wanda, do you have anything else before we?
Yeah, just listening to this conversation, even communication is also includes as a good listener, a good observer, because if you observe people that you are around, you can tell if something is good, something is bad, or something is indifferent. And, you have to learn how to be a good listener, a good observer, to even learn how to approach people to see if there's something wrong, or is there something that you can do for them, or is it something that, we need to bring to the teacher's attention, or even to the parents' attention. So that's good that you all are very observant about each other, because that's good. That's still communication, because if I'm observing you, I'm going to speak to what I see, and then you can respond to me if I am on the right track or not. So that's excellent.
Wow, that was so good. And here it's not always what you say, it's what you don't say, right? And we always talk about silence being golden, right? And so in order to be a good communicator, you have to also be a good what? Say it again.
Listener.
Yeah.
In order to be a good communicator, you have to be a good what?
Listener.
All right. And I'm listening to many of your body language right now. They're saying, Miss Mac, it is time for PE. Yay! I can see it. All of your body language. So Miss Wallace, when she is feeling much better, she'll come in and do something different. But I think Madeline would like to say something else before we close.
Okay.
Wait.
I wanted to ask you what channel are you at, so I can listen to you in the morning at Friday.
Oh, look, she's saying something in you that you don't even see. She said, what channel do you see in the morning? So she does a podcast on every other Friday, right, Ms. Wallace?
Right.
And I
Every other Friday, yes. At 8 p.m. and it's on my
it's on the
business
social
Facebook
media
page.
site. So I would have to play the replay.
Okay.
So when she does on a Friday, we'll come in and Kurt to Ed, and I will play it on the computer for you guys to hear. Okay. And then you guys can.
And that was great communication right there.
It was. Okay.
That was great communication.
I know. Give me 1 second, guys. Stand where you at. Freeze. Stay in that pose. Miss Wallace has one more thing to say.
Okay. I want to just thank you all for, talking to me and responding to me about communication. I really appreciate this time. I will be back inside to talk to you about another topic. And you all have donuts.
Yes.
So that's just saying thank you for your participation, and I really do appreciate it. I thank you, Mrs. Mack, for allowing me to talk to your class, your students, and I appreciate all the responses, because they were all great responses. So I thank you.
All right. So what do we say for these wonderful donuts again?
Thank you.
All right. I'll call you back after the class.
Okay. Bye-bye.
We stop this.
All right, guys.
Okay, you all. That was a great session with the 4th and 5th graders in my girlfriend's classroom with the and the ages from 9 to 10. So we had a great time, and it goes to show you what our children are thinking about in these different topics, and the communication was very, very good. And you heard them. They do nonverbal. One of the young ladies come in and she does her little dance and all to tell her how she feel and all. Some of the other students, they talked about how they want to be responded to and how they need to respond back. So communication is where we start at home. And when we see our children speaking about communication and how they want to communicate, and for parents, teachers, their peers, or anyone else to respond to them, that's great. Because I tell you, when we begin to teach our children at home, and then they begin to apply it and carry it with them wherever they go, that is great. That is what I call effective communication. That's their character being built, their confidence being built, their respect is being built. They have respect for themselves, confidence in themselves, and then they have respect for others, because we have to really, really think about how we want people to respond to us when they communicate with us, as well as when we communicate with them, because effective communication builds confidence. It builds trust. We have to be effective listeners. We have to listen with our ears and also be effective in observing and seeing what we see, that's something that we're looking at, something that we observing, that it brings to our attention that maybe there's something I need to go over there and see what is exactly going on with that person and see if they need any help, or is something going on that needs to be addressed and all. So effective communication, I always say, is where we start at home. And so I just want to leave you with a few things. I'm not going to keep you long because the session was wonderful and all. And so I have some tips, like 5 tips for improving parent-child communication. One of them is to understand how your child communicates, whether they're communicating with you, whether they're communicating with their peers, whether they're communicating with teachers, whether they're communicating with anyone they come in contact with. You have to have an understanding and keep an eye out on your children and watch how they observe themselves, how they carry themselves, and avoid a lecturing to a child. I don't like to be lectured. If your child is doing something that is not good, just tell it to them. Just talk with them, not to them. Don't talk to them. Talk with them. Let them know if something that you see, and is not good. Then when you get to a safe place, talk to them. What you did was not good or not right, and tell them why, so they will have a better understanding that they won't do that again, and they'll have more confidence in themselves that what I did was not right, and I was explained why, and so now I understand. The third one is to listen to your child even if you disagree. Let me read that again. Listen to your child even if you don't agree with what they're doing. Watch them, observe them, listen to what's going on, and then you can talk to them and tell them, that this is why I did not agree with how you exhibit yourself, how you came across to that person, that teacher, that adult, that child. So, listen. The fourth one is encourage communication through play. Do role playing. That's so wonderful when you do role playing with your children. Let me be you and you be me. Or let me be the teacher and you be the student. Do role plays, and that would help even your children communicate better. Because sometimes some things are so good when you have time, with your children. Okay, let's do role play. Even teachers, some of them do in their class, let's do role play. How about you becoming the mayor? What would you do? How would you communicate with the community? What would you say? Because what you say reflects you. So, and the fifth one is strike up conversations between activities. Whatever you have an activity, just strike up a conversation as you're doing the activities. Come across it. Why are you doing this? Why are you saying that? Oh, this is good to say. No, don't say that. Say it this way. So effective communication with our children will help them to be better communicators, because we don't know where our children are going to grow up to be. They might say different things. One of your children might want to be a teacher and they want to communicate. Some of your children might be, police officers. They might be, politicians, governors. Somebody might be the president of the United States. We don't know. But to start them off as children and helping them during their developmental stage will help them to become effective communicators. So as I, end this session, just pay attention to your children. Be good listeners. Not talk to them, but talk with them. Have a better understanding. Draw boundaries. Have open communication. And then teachers, have a safe, environment that when your students say things or do things that are not in agreement with you, learn how to pull them to the side, or learn how to talk to the class where you and them will have better communication, because they have to listen to you and respect you, and you have to listen and respect them. So when things are not right, put it in perspective, that they will understand that what they did was wrong. Or if you did something, I apologize, class, for what I said. I did not mean to say that, but I do owe you an apology. So we have to learn how to respect one another. We have to learn how to communicate with one another. We have to learn really how to love and trust, our children, with what we're training them, what we're teaching them, so they can go out and do the same of what they've been taught. So I just thank you all for this time to be with me this evening to talk about communications. And so if anybody have any comments or any feedback, feel free to contact me at my website. It's preciousangelic.org. You can get me on my email at wanda@preciousangelic.light. You can contact me on my Facebook, Precious Angelic Light Inc. I don't know if y'all do Twitter, but I got at Palinc 2. I have Instagram, Palinc1. I have a app that you can download from Apple Store or from Google Store or Play Store. And you just type in PALINC, and it'll take a minute, because sometimes it might not come up, but you can, once you see it, download it. And if anyone wants to donate, because I just like to bring different things to the children, to the girls and all, teaching them how to be better people, as they grow up, how to be children that would be effective in their life as they grow up from different developmental stages, and mentoring them. And if you want to use my Cash App, it's $PalInc. If you want to do my Venmo, is PalInc09. And so if you want to donate, and if you want to contact me, you can contact me at my number, 301-996-9736. And I just want to share this with you before I leave, that I am hosting on Zoom a creative writing workshop for young girls ages 7 to 13 on March the 30th. And it's from 5 to 6 p.m. So if anyone is interested in having their friends, daughters, or if you have nieces and all, just follow the directions on the post on the flyer, and then you can touch bases with me on 301-996-9736. And once again, I want to thank you all for coming on Palinc Podcast, and blessings, and have a blessed night. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Guess what he did? My God is so big, my king is legit, he forever lives. King of all kings, and that's a big deal. My God is real, real. I carry a spirit, I love how it feels. I used to be broken, but now I am healed. His word is amazing, it keeps me fulfilled. The love that he gives is completely surreal. He is my father, and I am his kid. He is my teacher, he taught me to live. He is my master, I yield to his will. I once was a dip, but he fitted the bill. My savior, my king, ruler of everything. His reign, supreme, forever the song I sing. He is Alpha, he is Omega, he is provider, he is healer, he is counselor, he is redeemer. Everything that I need him to be is who he is to me. Yeah. He is Alpha, he is Omega, he is provider, he is healer, he is counselor, he is redeemer. Everything that I need him to be is who he is to me. Yeah. I'm loving my God, I serve a big God, I put on for my king like. I'm loving my God, I serve a big God, I put on for my king like. I'm loving my God, I serve a big God, I put for my king like. his mercy. Let me speak of his grace. Let me tell you how he put the girl on and taught me how to win the race. So I give him all the glory and I give him all the praise. Forever and always, I'll always be bold about sharing my faith. Cause he's a good, good father and he's the living water. We all about clay, but he is the master potter. And I could go on and ain't no battle he ain't already won. I walk in the spirit and I walk with the sun. He who is and is to come. I'm loving my God. I serve a big God. I put on for my king like. I'm loving my God. I serve a big God. I put on for my king like. I'm loving my God. I serve a big God. I put for my king like. I'm loving my God. I'm serve a big God. I put on for my king like.
Oh my.
You are my daily bread and the lifter of my head. I believe every word you said, cause my God is living, yeah, he's not dead. In you is all truth. Everything I am is found in you. Serving you forever, yeah, that's the move. My sights on heaven and that's my view. Say, fam, what you in this for? I ain't with it if heaven ain't the goal. I ain't with it if we ain't saving souls. No time to make, yeah, we gotta live bold. Cause we living in the end days, and nowadays you got to have real faith. Devil lurking and you gotta pray. I know it's hard, but you gotta stay safe. I'm loving my